Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, I'm Art.
I'm Dana.
And when we are not busy as can be on one of the many car projects that we have going on here at the house, we try to relax, although it's just a little bit. When I get a chance to relax, it's in a hammock, taking a nice, quiet nap outside.
And I prefer to curl up in a chair with a book and a glass of wine.
So recognizing that we probably need to relax a little bit more, our awesome channel sponsor Yoleny sent us this egg chair to go ahead and do an assembly and review video for each of you that might be considering one of these. And the great thing is we've got plenty of space in the gazebo for us to be able to utilize it.
So let's dive right in and we'll show you how quick and easy it is to assemble this egg chair.
The very first thing that we do for each of these assembly projects is to lay out all the parts by like letter or like number, so that way we can do an audit to ensure that we have everything on hand that is supposed to be here before we even start. Yoleny does a fantastic job of lettering all the pieces, or for the smaller parts, lettering things differently as well. Each of these parts come wrapped up exceptionally well, and the entire chair comes in one large box. So now that we've got everything, we know everything is here, let's go ahead and get into the steps of putting this together.
All right, for this first step, you're going to need to get your 4 I's, your 4 E's, 4 L's, and your A. What we find is easiest is to actually flip A over so that the feet are actually pointed up. You're going to take your L cap and insert it on the end of your E as the foot, and you're going to take your E and insert it into part A, and that's where these eye bolts come in. When you insert E into A, you're going to make sure you have everything oriented correctly, and then screw it in. And then you're just going to repeat that until you have all 4 legs assembled onto your base A. For the next step, we're going to flip this over so the feet are properly on the ground, and we're going to grab our B poles. Alright, for this step we're going to be attaching our B poles to the base A. We're going to be using 2 of the B's, all of our bolts here, and our kit even included a few wrenches for us to make sure we got all 6 on each side fully tight. So let's get started. We're going to take the bottom of B and insert it into A. And you just want to make sure you have everything aligned. You're going to have 2 bolts on each side, left, right, and then 2 bolts coming up from the bottom. Now you want to make sure that when you are putting these bolts in, you don't want to cross thread anything. So it may take another person to help you hold the weight of the pole to take that pressure off, to make sure that you're not damaging the threads on these bolts. Now that you've got both B's attached and all the bolts are tight on the bottom, you're going to grab your C posts and they're going to fit into the B's right here. You're going to use your locking nut, your washers, as well as your long bolt to secure C onto B. Now the order that you want to do is you want to put a washer onto your bolt, thread your bolt through the hole to the other end, put on your other washer, and then secure it with your locking nut. Now the kit comes with 2 of these wrenches for a reason, and it's for this right here. Aside from just having helper, you need both wrenches to tighten this bolt down. So you can either pivot both hands at the same time or just hold one steady and spin the other to tighten the locking nut onto this bolt and make everything secure and tight. Once that's done, you're going to do the same thing on the other side, and then we're ready for the next step. I want to take a minute and call out the fact that this C-post will wobble a little bit even after you have that bolt and that nut securely fastened and very tight. This is by design for our next steps, so don't freak out over it. Now here's where we recommend that you deviate from the instruction manual. The next two steps are to install the top D onto your frame and then to install the sunshade. We feel that these steps should be reversed. We found it so much easier to install the sunshade onto our top before putting it to the frame, so that's what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to need our K, L, D top, and our sunshade. You'll notice two little dimples or nipples on the inside of this part K, and those are going to actually go into the frame for the sunshade, leaving the center hole open for our bolt L to go through. All right, I'm going to call out that the first side is easy. It's the second side that's the hardest. So you're going to put the K onto the end of your top here. And once everything is in, it's really easy for you to take this, bolt J. I said L earlier, that was not right. And screw it down into the middle. Once you get everything aligned, it should go rather smoothly.
It just takes a while. It's a long bolt.
All right, I'm not going to tighten that all the way to make it easier for the other side. Now that you've got one side done, flip the entire thing over and repeat the process. It is difficult with the tension to get everything lined up. Which is why we recommend doing this step before putting it on the frame, so that you can use the ground and gravity to your advantage. All right, now that we have successfully installed the sunshade onto our top, we're going to take this entire piece and go put it on our frame.
I suddenly feel like a nosy neighbor looking over the fence.
What's that, Wilson?
Now we just have to put the shade onto the poles. Relatively easy. Okay, then we'll stick our pins through the top. Next, we'll go ahead and turn the outside knobs in order to spin the sunshade the proper way. And on the inside of those pieces that we put together, they actually have teeth, so you need to loosen both the handles up in order to disengage the gears, in order to spin freely, and then tighten everything back up. All right, next is the chair.
All right, before we can hang the chair on, we've got to take our springs and hook them into the bottom of these bolts. There's one for each side.
And on the top of the chair, you actually have these loops that will go into those particular springs, one on each side.
One person could do this by themselves, but it's easier with two.
Home stretch. Just getting the pads tied up to the chair now. Just to walk through on the chair real quick before we put the pads on, because there may be questions about it. This actually folds down to where it's collapsible, so it's easy to store, and everything comes assembled. There is no yarn or no weaving of any of the material that you have to end up doing. It's all ready to go. But you'll see it's all kind of a vinyl rattan weave on the back side. All the exposed metal, with the exception of the hinges, are covered. Then you have the roping along everywhere, which really gives it the strength. Yoleny states that this has a weight capacity of 618 pounds, so very easy enough for you to have two average size adults relaxing in the chair together.
All right, now we got the bottom end. We just need to tie the backs to the cording. All right, I'm gonna flip the back over the top of this bar here just to help keep it from sliding further down than it needs to. I'm gonna do it a little bit loose and just tie ourselves a nice little bow. Come on, there we go. We'll do the same thing for all of them.
Now, while Dana is finishing up the back pads, I do also want to show that this comes with head pillows in the event that you are taller than we are, and we're an average size of 5'6", so these actually won't work for us, so we're not going to tie these up. But if you are someone that is taller than we are, these may actually work very nicely for you, so your head's not hitting into the strapping and you can lean your head back a little bit. All right, what do you think?
I like it. It's comfy, it's springy, the movements on it are all smooth. I don't feel like I'm getting tumbled around at all. The cushions are nice.
And plenty of room for one person to stretch out.
Plenty of room for me to like curl up and read a book. I could put those extra pillows on one side and just, you know, completely take up the entire chair.
But it's a double chair, so move! I do enjoy this too.
Hello, dear.
Hey, dear. Okay, so two people in this. I don't feel any creaking. I don't hear any creaking. Everything works very smoothly. It feels very comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I like this. I could definitely see, even in the wintertime, we cranking up the lava heat on the patio and just relaxing and looking out over a snowy yard.
Oh yeah. Nice toasty beverage in our hands.
Oh yeah.
That'd be perfect.
So a huge thank you to Yoleny once again for providing this chair and helping us really make sure we spend more time relaxing. So thank you very, very much. We hope each of you enjoyed this episode. If you are considering one of these double egg chairs, we know there's a lot of brands that are out there. So hopefully this episode will help you in making your decision, knowing the quality and ease of assembling this particular chair. So until next episode, we hope you take care, stay safe, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.
Bye.